This will be for the con exercise, components of vectors from endpoints. So I drew a vector here in pink, and the endpoint of the vector is actually where the vector starts. So the endpoint is the tail end of the vector. It's the end that does not have the arrowhead. And the vector ends at the arrowhead. Okay, so a vector is not like a ray. It does not continue forever. It has a starting point and a finishing point. But the starting point is called the endpoint. So right here, we'll look at the graph in a minute, but right here they just want us to write the x and y components of the vector that's on the graph. Okay, the x component is how far left, right it travels, and the y component is how far up, down it travels. So we can see here the end that does not have the arrowhead is where it starts. It starts at A and it ends up at B. So we just count the x and y components. Okay, so starting at A, we travel 1, 2, 3, 4 units in the positive x direction. And then traveling up, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We went up 7. Okay, remember, right and up is positive, down and left is negative. So the x coordinate is 4 and the y coordinate is 7. So it's just going to be 4, 7. So click inside the box, 4, 7. Okay, I said coordinates, but it's actually components, not coordinates. And notice when you write the vector, it's similar to writing a ray in that you write the end point, the starting point first. Okay, and the arrow on top of the two letters always points to the right, even if the vector does not. Okay, it says vector AB has a terminal point 4, -7, x component of -3, and a y component of -9. Find the coordinates of the initial point A. All right, the terminal point is actually where it ends. So we want to find the initial point. All right, so let's say the initial point is x, y. That's going to be where it begins. And it has an x component of -3. So we're going to have to add -3 in order to get from the initial to the terminal. And for the y component, it's -9. We're going to have to add -9 in order to get to -7. Okay, so basically, we have to work backwards. All right, if you want to see the algebra, I'll write it out. It's going to be x plus -3 equals 4. Right, because this is the starting point or the initial point. You add -3 in order to get to 4. So solving for this, the opposite of -3 is +3 on both sides. And x is going to equal 4 plus 3, which is 7. Okay, and then for the y's, we have y plus -9 is -7. Okay, the opposite of -9 is +9. Do that to both sides. And y equals +2. All right, so that's it. So basically, they gave us the endpoint and the components of the vector, which are added to the initial point. So we just had to work backwards here. So click inside the box, 7, +7, and +2. Okay, in case you need to see it graphically, I'll just draw a quick sketch that says the terminal point is 4, negative 7. So let's say we went 4, negative 7. Okay, that is actually where the vector ends because that's the terminal point. But in order to get to that vector, they went negative 3 on the x and they went negative 9 on the y. Okay, so in order to get to this point, they had to travel minus 3 in the x direction and negative 9 in the y direction. Okay, here they want to know which of the following vectors have the same y component as vector A. So that would mean that the vector travels the same amount in the y direction. Alright, so let's take a look. Alright, the y component is how far up down the vector travels. So here's vector A. Okay, it starts here and it goes up 1, 2, 3 units to get to this point here. Okay, so that's positive 3. We want to see which other vectors go up for 3 units. So let's look at D right here. It goes 1, 2, 3 to get to the terminal point. So that's positive 3. So D is one of them. All right, let's look at the other ones. Scrolling down here, we can see that vector C starts here and it travels down. Okay, so this one would actually be negative 3. All right, it starts here and it goes 1, 2, 3. That's negative 3. Same with vector B. It travels down 1, 2, 3. Okay, so B and C are negative 3. That's not the same. The only answer is D. So be careful, some of these have more than one answer. It says choose all answers. In this case, it's just D.